Yo, what's up, Broncos Country? How's it going today, guys? So, me and Muhammad are back. We got a great show for you guys today. A lot of stuff we're going to get into. But first, before we get into it, Muhammad, how was your week, man?
It was pretty good, Daddy. Pretty quiet, laid back. It was off Friday. Just a pretty good week. What about you?
Great. Other than the heat trying to kill me, it was a great week. We got rookies reporting to mini camp this coming up week, and then the following week we got training camp starting. So, less than 2 weeks, guys, and we're going to be in the midst of training camp, and everybody's going to be back. We're going to be having a lot of news come out, and before you know it, preseason's going to be here, then the season. So let's get excited. And actually, I was talking to Muhammad about this before we went live. The Chargers and Lions have already reported to training camp because we do have football this month. The Hall of Fame game, July 31st. So
Yep.
it's here, guys. Football season's almost in full swing. Another couple of weeks, it's going to be in full swing for everybody. So, but also, guys, if you could like, comment, subscribe on this video. Also, hit that bell notification so you know when we go live. But before we get into our first thing, we got a couple of comments in here. Let's get to those real quick. We got Michael Ronquillo in the house. What's up, Mike? Appreciate it, man. Thanks for being in today. He's like, good afternoon, Ed and Muhammad on Rocky Mountain Blitz. Go Bo Broncos. Hell yeah. Go Bo Broncos, man. Like I said, less than 2 months and we're going to be in the season. Man,
Good to
I don't
have
even
you.
care, man. Yeah, it's good to have you. I don't even care, man. I'm ready for preseason.
You know,
I just want
some
football back. But thanks, Michael. We got another one here for Michael. Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far, Ed and Muhammad. Yeah, we are. Might take the kids out after this. Maybe go out and get some ice cream or something. But uh, just ready for football, man. Honestly, I can't. I'm so eager for it. Like it's so close, and I could taste it. So, but get your guys' comments in, and we'll get to them as we go through the show. So, the main topic of today's show: what head coaches are on the hot seat, and which NFL coaches are safe, and which ones are kind of in the middle, up in the air. We're going to go through all those today. Every single head coach in the NFL. We're going to go through the offensive line rankings from PFF and a couple other things me and Muhammad wanted to get into. So let's get started. So the first head coach I believe we have is Raheem Morris of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Muhammad, I think he's been the head coach for what now? About a year or two now in Atlanta. I can't remember off the top of my head. Last year they didn't. I mean, they almost made the playoffs, but they had that end of the season collapse. Like they got destroyed by the Broncos here in Denver, and it was like after that, Kirk Cousins was just done. He threw. He didn't. I think there was like a stretch of like what was it, like 3 or 4 games he didn't throw a touchdown. Kirk Cousins,
yeah.
and then they benched him for Michael Penix. But this year for Raheem Morris, what are your thoughts? Is he on the hot seat? Is he cold, or is he still kind of in the middle to you?
Honestly think he's on the middle, Eddie. I'm only saying that is because I think Phoenix is probably going to save him. I believe he's going to start. Very good prospect. Um, a good quarterback. I think he'll kind of carry the team. And I see that they addressed the main problem they had with their defense, the pass rush, a couple of times actually. So I think they're gonna be all right. I think this year, unless some crazy happen, but I think he should be okay for a couple of years, couple of seasons.
Um, I'm on. I'm not saying his seat is scorching hot, but I do think it's lukewarm. Last year was a disaster. Now I know the whole Kirk Cousins thing wasn't his fault. You know, it was the GM that signed Kirk Cousins and then drafted Michael Penix. Like, because Raheem Morris is a defensive guy. Like, he knew, like, if they signed Kirk Cousins, why the hell didn't they go after a defensive pass rusher last year? Why not? That's what they desperately needed. And if Raheem Morris was somewhat in charge, I think they would, or had some kind of a say, they would have went after a pass rusher. Now, you could say in hindsight, the Michael Penix pick worked out because Kirk Cousins seems like he's kind of, dare I say it, washed. Like, it looks like he's done.
Yeah.
But I say lukewarm, honestly, because they could have a solid season. Like I think if they go 7-10, 8-9, 9-8, I think he's safe. Um, and it also depends on the development of Michael Penix. Like if Michael Penix comes out and by the end of the season, they can't tell if he's the guy, if he's still struggling, if he looks bad, then I can totally see Raheem Morris possibly, being on the hot seat going into 2026 if he makes it that far. So I think they had to see at least some development in Penix and this team, and maybe just, I mean, they are in the weakest division in the NFL, honestly. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm kind of hard to turn to say if he doesn't make the playoffs, he's going to be fired. I don't know. It's possible. I mean, that's a weak division. But, the Saints are trash. I mean, you do have to deal with Baker Mayfield and them. So, and the Panthers, they're no slouch either. So, I think 8 wins, 9 wins. If he gets that, Michael Penix looks good, I think he's safe for another year at least. But if Michael Penix looks bad and they go like 5-12 or something, then he's probably gone, in my opinion. So, but next up, okay, give me a second here, guys. The list keeps disappearing on my phone. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh. Muhammad, what do you think about John Harbaugh?
I honestly think he's safe, Eddie. Some reason they can't get over the hump, you know. I honestly think they should have been on a Super Bowl by now, won one at least. But this season, if they don't, like, if it's the same thing, and when we get to the Bills, it'll probably be the same deal. But if they don't make it, I don't know, Eddie. I don't think that the Ravens are willing to part ways. But logically speaking, if it's not working out, you got the quarterback, you got a good defense, you got a good team, you got a good running back. Why is it not working out? So that would be the question that the organization should ask. But knowing the Ravens, I think he's okay.
I'm going to say he's in the middle. Like, the only reason why is because he is a Super Bowl champion. Lamar Jackson's great. At least he's got that. Their defense is going to be top tier this year. Like, he can make the playoffs and lose again. I don't think John Harbaugh is going anywhere. And you, Muhammad, of all people, know especially how I feel about the Harbaugh brothers. You know how I feel about them, but he's still a good head coach. So and as long as they keep winning, now I do think within probably the next couple of years, this year or next year, he has to win a Super Bowl. He has to. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl after next year, he probably will be on the hot seat. Mm-hmm. Like, you got, especially if you have a top tier defense, you got weapons now. You got a good run game with Derrick Henry. You got Lamar Jackson. Like, you have to win. You have to. So I'm going to say he's safe for now, but if by next season, if they don't win a Super Bowl, I think his seat's going to start heating up really bad, really fast. I actually skipped the coach because I didn't see it at the top, but the next up is Jonathan Gannon of the Arizona Cardinals. Muhammad, what do you think about Jonathan Gannon? Hot, cold, or in the middle?
I honestly think he's on a hot seat, Eddie. I mean, can't blame everything on him, but with the whole quarterback situation. But I saw that they drafted pretty well this past draft. I looked at the draft; is actually pretty decent. Is that going to translate? I don't know, but if they don't make the playoffs this season, Eddie, he might get canned. So I would say yes, he's on the hot seat.
I say he's on the hot seat too. I think he got hired in 2023, so he got hired the same year Sean Payton did. And I'm not trying to compare Jonathan Gannon to Sean Payton, because he's not by any stretch of the imagination. True. But it's like, Sean Payton had a lot more. They're still head coaches. He still got offered the job as a head coach because the Cardinals saw that, okay, maybe he can run a defense. He got hired. He worked for the Eagles before, made that defense really good. The Cardinals defense was not that good last year. And now Sean Payton does have the privilege of, being a Super Bowl champion and being a head coach before, but it's like, you see what Sean Payton did in 2 years with the Broncos with an $85 million dead cap hit. Honestly, if I had to sit here and say right now, last year, the Cardinals had better freaking talent on their offense than the Broncos did. They had Marvin Harrison. They had Trey McBride. They had a run game. Like, they had pieces. They had Kyler Murray. Now, I'm not saying Kyler Murray's better than Bo Nix, but Bo Nix was a rookie. We didn't know what the heck he was going to be at the start of last season, and I feel like he is on the hot seat. Like, they got to win. I agree with you, Muhammad. They have to make the playoffs this year. Like, they have talent on that roster, and it's on Gannon now to put it all together and make the playoffs. Even if they make, they get the 7th seed and they get bounced in the wild card, kind of like we did last year. Like, at least that's an accomplishment. At least you got to there, especially in their division. Like, the 49ers were bad last year because they were injured, which, they should have capitalized on that. But this year, the 49ers have lost so many pieces, offense and defense. Like, and they had to pay Brock Purdy. Like, I'm not saying the 49ers are going to be bad, but I don't think they're going to be as dominant as they have been in years past besides last year. The Seahawks, we don't even know. The Rams are going to be tough, but if you could squeak one of those games out, you should be able to make the playoffs next year, I would think. But he's got to do something this year. I think his seat is high. Like, if they go under 500, like, I think for him to save his job this year, honestly, he has to go above 500. Even if he misses the playoffs, I think he still might be able to hang on to his job if he goes above 500, if they show some improvement. But if he goes below 500, I think he's gone. I think he's out the building, and they're going to move on and find someone new. Next up, this one to me, I don't know. I think we're going to differ on this, Muhammad, but I want to get your take. Next up is Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott. What are your thoughts on him?
I honestly think, Eddie, we might agree. I think he should be on the hot seat. Like, what are you doing? All these years, like, you have Josh Allen, and I honestly feel bad for him. I know they beat us last, season on the playoffs, but I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he was dealt a fair hand. Like, I mean, he goes close to it and he just can't do it, and I don't think it's his fault. So it's on the coach. I'm sorry, it's on the coach. This season, you got to do something. I don't know what it is with the Chiefs, but that's just something that just stands in their way. Well, I don't think the Chiefs going to be on your way this season. So let's see what you can do. But if you don't go to the Super Bowl or get close to it, I don't know, Eddie. I think they should be looking somewhere else. Is the Bills going to do it? I don't know, but that's what I think. Hot seat.
Yeah, he's on an extremely hot seat, in my opinion. Now, I know it's probably not a popular take as they make the playoffs, but it's like, dude, Sean McDermott's been with the Bills since 2017. He's had Josh Allen since 2018. Mm-hmm. Now, dude, they got to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm sorry. I'm going to be blunt. They have to win the Super Bowl this year. And I'm sorry, that's going to be a lot harder. Yes, the Chiefs, I believe they're going to miss the playoffs this year. I've said this in our, prediction for the Broncos, record predictions this year. The Chiefs are going to miss playoffs. But now you got the likes of the Broncos. You still got the likes of the Chargers. You got the likes of the Ravens. The Bengals ain't going to be no easy task, even though their offensive line and defense are not that great. The Steelers are going to be hard fought. I think the Patriots are going to be, a really good up and coming team this year. Like, I don't. And here's the thing. Yeah, the Bills beat us last year in the playoffs. I understand that. But guess what? The year prior, we kicked their ass in their house.
We did.
With Russell Wilson.
Yep. So,
like, we got a better, like, Bo Nix, that was his first playoff game. No one expected the Broncos to win. I was just happy the Broncos made it to the playoffs. They haven't been in 10 years. But this year, the Broncos are hungry. They have a tight end one. They have a running game. They have a better defense. Bo Nix, year 2, continuity with Sean Payton. Like, that can be no easy task for you. I mean, they don't play them during the regular season, but I feel like the Broncos are going to play the Bills in the playoffs. And to me, Sean McDermott has to win a Super Bowl. You've been there for 8 years, dude. You've had Josh Allen for 7 years. And you can't get past the I think they made it to the championship game, twice in 7 years? And both times I got bounced by the Chiefs, so I have to say Sean McDermott, he's on a hot seat. Like, his seat's scorching. He has to win a Super Bowl this year. Like, you're wasting prime Josh Allen. Last year, you were supposed to take a step back, and this is another reason why I say his seat's hot and he needs to win the Super Bowl this year. Last year, after they lost Stephon Diggs, everybody was saying, "Oh, the Bills are gonna take a step back because they lost all their weapons. They're gonna have to regroup this year and then go into 2025 with more weapons." Well, guess what? You made the AFC Championship game without that many great weapons outside of maybe Josh Allen on offense and who was the other guy? James Cook, who they're having a contract dispute with right now.
Yeah.
Dude, you did that last year when no one expected you to do that last year. It's Super Bowl or bust for these guys this year, honestly. And if I had to pick, I don't think they're going to make it. That's just my personal opinion. So yeah, I think he's on a hot seat. I think if he doesn't, at the very, very, very minimum, make the Super Bowl, he's fired. He's gone. But I feel like maybe the owners think differently. Hey, you got everything. You got Josh Allen. You need to win us a damn Super Bowl. You've been doing this for 7 years with Josh Allen, Super Bowl or nothing.
Exactly.
Next up, we got Dave Canales of the Carolina Panthers. Muhammad, what do you think on this guy?
That's a tough one, Eddie. Is their quarterback going to be better? Is he getting better? Well, he showed signs last season, Eddie, when he was benched and then he started. He played again. He was showing some promise. So if this trend continues, then yes, But if it doesn't, and that's the problem, Eddie. Sometimes it's the quarterback makes you or breaks you, right? So if he does play well, then yes. But I honestly think the problem with the Panthers is not even the quarterback or the coach, it's the owner. But that's a different story, right? But I would say he's safe this season unless some crazy happens.
Well, he got hired last year. David Canales got hired in 2024. He went 5-12. I feel like, again, he's got to get probably above 500. He's got to get above 500 to probably keep his job. If he doesn't, if he goes under 500, 5-12, 6-11, 7-10, 8-9, I don't think he's going to survive because we know David Tepper is a very impulsive owner. Like, he literally fired Frank Wright. Well, I think he fired him he fired him after the first year. And Frank Wright was there, and we heard talks about that too, that Frank Wright wanted CJ Stroud, not who is it, Bryce Young. And it looks like, Frank Wright could have been right on that, because look what CJ Stroud's doing with the Houston Texans. So with them, I think Tepper's owned the team since 2017, 2018, or somewhere around there. I think he's already went through like 5 or 6 head coaches. So I wouldn't be surprised if Canales doesn't get at least above 500 this year. He's out. Like, I think Tepper will fire him and he'll move on to the next guy, which is really going to stunt the growth of Bryce Young. Because this is going to be his, third head coach in 3 years or 4 years? Like, it just ridiculous. I think they just need to he needs to win this year. So not just for his job, but for Bryce Young's career, honestly, because this might really set Bryce Young's career back even more if they have to bring in another head coach in. Next up, we got the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson. What do you think about this one, Mohammed?
He's as safe as he can be, Eddie. I mean, it's his first year. His team is freaking loaded with talent. So I would say at least 2-3 seasons, Eddie. Is his quarterback going to let him down? I hope not, but he's pretty talented. Does some weird things on outside of football, but as far as the talent is there, the team is very talented, so I think he should be okay.
I'm gonna say safe, but knock on wood, he doesn't turn into Nathaniel Hackett. Like,
you think so, Eddie?
I'm not saying he's going to, or that he even has the same mentality. I'm just saying, like, you never know with first-time head coaches. Excuse me. But I don't think we're going to lay the blame at Ben Johnson if the Bears have a bad season, or if Caleb, I should say, has a bad season. But as long as he doesn't he's not like Hackett where he has to give up play calling duties, the crowd's having to count down the freaking play clock, to, keep from getting delay of games. But as of right now, Ben Johnson seats ice cold. I think he's at least got a couple of years. Hell, he might even have more than that, honestly. Even if, just say hypothetically, Caleb Williams turns out to be a bust and he just, which is hard for me to say because he's the first overall pick from a couple of years ago. I don't think they're going to fire him even after that. They'll probably move on from Caleb and let, Ben Johnson pick his own quarterback. If it were to get that far, I think it's more likely that would happen first. If Caleb were bad, if Caleb was bad, I think it's more likely that Ben Johnson gets his chance to pick his quarterback rather than him get fired. So, but I think his seat's ice cold right now. Ice cold. But before we move on, we got a couple of comments here. We got Big E Bronco. How's everybody doing today? We're doing great, man. Enjoying the weekend, ready for football.
Nice what to have you,
Bob?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, man. Doing well. Thanks for coming in, joining us.
We got another one here from Big E Bronco. He's like, the play counting thing was more of Russell Wilson thing called happening in Pittsburgh too. Oh, yeah. I noticed that a bit last year myself, but Hackett literally couldn't even call plays. Like the guy couldn't, keep his team together. He couldn't even keep his team from fighting each other. You got freaking Reisner pushing Brett Rippon. You got Mike Purcell freaking sitting there screaming at Russell Wilson on the sideline. Hackett just sitting there like,
Yeah.
But
so
I don't
glad,
think
I'm so glad we don't have to deal with that anymore, Eddie. God, that was just a nightmare. Yeah.
2022 is a forgettable season I never want to remember again.
God,
we got another one in here from Michael Ronquillo. He's like, hi, Big E Bronco. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. But let's see. The next one I think we had up on the list, and this one to me, oh man, I can't wait to talk about this one. The Cincinnati Bengals, Zach Taylor. Mohammed, what's your opinion on this?
It's really hard, Eddie. If you ask me, I think he should be in the hot seat. We could say that it's not his fault that his quarterback got hurt, but the way they have the team structured now, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. They barely have any defense, Eddie. Yeah, you're gonna have the top offense, but so what? As you start going, once you make the playoffs, if they do, then what? Because all these teams are gonna have some really good defense. Broncos, right? So what are you gonna do? So that's the problem. I don't think they'll be able to go to the Super Bowl the way the team is structured. So I think he should be in the hot seat.
Well, as of right now, he was hired in 2019. His current record in the NFL is 46-52. He's on the hot seat. Like you got, just like I said with Sean McDermott, you got a top quarterback in the league, man. There are teams in this league that would kill to have Josh Allen, would kill to have Joe Burrow. And my thing is that year they went to the Super Bowl. Do you remember that year, Mohammed? What was the one thing that people were saying after they lost that Super Bowl to the Rams? What was the reason why people were saying, oh, they lost the Super Bowl because of this reason? What was it? Do you remember?
Not off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Offensive line was so bad. The entire season, Joe Burrow literally carried that team to a Super Bowl. And this is my thing. Zach Taylor's an offensive-minded guy. What did freaking Sean Payton do when he first came to Denver? He rebuilt the offensive line. What did Ben Johnson do the second he got into Chicago? He rebuilt the offensive line. You're an offensive guy. You should rebuild that, especially since the fact that Joe Burrow's already had 2 season-ending injuries in his career because of a lack of an offensive line. You're going to shorten Joe Burrow's career because you refuse to rebuild your offensive line. He's on a hot seat. I think this year, the Bengals, which is surprising me for me to say this, they have missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. With, I believe this past year with the healthy Joe Burrow, and I think the previous year, I can't remember if he was hurt, 2023, if Joe Burrow was hurt and out the entire season, but I think he was actually healthy. I'm not sure. I had to check that out. But 2 years straight, the Bengals have missed the playoffs with that kind of quarterback. But as we're going to get into here in a little bit with offensive lines, the Bengals by PFF, their offensive line is ranked one of the worst offensive lines in the league. And their defense is probably going to be the worst one in the league this year, especially if they don't get Henderson or Stewart signed.
Not a good combination, that's for sure.
Like, I don't think Zach Taylor is going to be the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals after this year, especially if they lose, if they have another losing season and don't make the playoffs, dude, he's out. He's done. And that job, oh my God, could you imagine, dude? Like, if you're an offensive-minded head coach out there, whether if you're going to be like another Ben Johnson, first-time offensive-minded head coach, or if you're an offensive-minded guy like a Sean Payton that was just out there, if this job comes open, these coaches are going to be clamoring at the bit for this job.
Licking their chops.
To coach Joe Burrow?
Exactly.
Like, oh my God. Like, I don't think, like, we play the Bengals this year. They have a horrid offensive line. They have a horrible defense. Like, I don't see the Bengals making the Super Bowl. Like, you're literally depending on Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. That's the only things you're counting on for this team to help you make the playoffs this year. You're not relying on the offensive line or the defense at all. So I think he's on the hot seat, and I think he's gone after this year. I don't think the Bengals make the playoffs this year. I got them missing it, honestly, and I think Zach Taylor's gone. And this is going to be the hottest coaching job. This is going to be the hottest opening coaching job in the NFL next offseason. Watch. Next up, you got Kevin Stefanski from the Cleveland Browns. Mohammed, what do you think about this one?
With that one, Eddie, I would say somewhere in the middle. I mean, it's crazy how they are. Like, all these quarterbacks that they drafted, and they have, like, what they have 3 or 4. I don't know what they're gonna do, Eddie. Now, if they start Shedeur, what I think it might happen at some point, and he plays well, he should be good. But the team is stacked. A lot of talent, Eddie. Like, there should be any reason. If you could figure out the whole quarterback situation, there shouldn't be any reason why it could go at least above 500. So I think as long as they actually tread water, be above 500, he should be safe. But especially if he puts in Shedeur and Shedeur shows a promise, they'd be like, well, at least we got a quarterback, so let's see what happens next season.
I think I'm in about the middle too, but at the same time, like, I think after this year, I don't think he's going to be the head coach of the Browns. Not because they're going to fire him, because he's going to be like, I quit. I give up. You guys gave Deshaun this horrible contract that we can't get out of for another 3 freaking damn years. And based on the reports I heard, Dylan Gabriel was his guy. Stefanski's the one that wanted Dylan Gabriel, and they drafted him in the 3rd round. The owners are the ones that wanted Shedeur Sanders.
They should just go ahead and fire.
That's what I'm saying. Right? They literally went behind his back and made him take a quarterback that he did not want. So I think his seat's safe, but it's hard for me. I think it's in the middle, honestly, but it's hard for me to say that because, like, if he doesn't want, like, if Stefanski goes against the owners and said, no, Dylan Gabriel's better, I want to play him over Shedeur, the owners might fire him for that. He's like, no, we want to play Shedeur. Because Shedeur's got, his more name recognition. So he's already selling a bunch of jerseys out there in Cleveland, and fans are going to want to see Shedeur. But Stefanski can be like, I want to win, and Gabriel gives us a better chance to win. I'm not saying that's what I believe. I'm just saying between those two parties, Stefanski and the ownership of the Browns, that's what they're thinking. So, but I feel like he might want out at the end of the season. Either one or two things are going to happen with him, I feel. And maybe it's possible it doesn't happen this season, but I think either Stefanski's going to be like, I step down, I'm out, I don't want to be here anymore, I'm going to go somewhere else. Or if he winds up going against ownership, they're going to be like, okay, you're not playing Shedeur, the guy we want to play, and you're playing Gabriel, the guy you believe in, then we're just going to go ahead and let you go. So, but honestly, it's kind of up in the air at this point. Like, I really couldn't tell you. If I was Stefanski, like, I'd want out. If I was the owners, yeah, I understand. I'd want to play Shador because it's more of a name recognition and it's going to get you more sales, maybe not more wins. But what do I believe? Honestly, I don't know. I gotta let the season play out and see what happens over there. I can't tell you off the top of my head because I honestly am torn on this one. The next one up, Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer. Muhammad, what do you think of this one?
Honestly, Eddie, I don't even know why they hired that coach. He's just sounds like he's like a yes man. He's just gonna listen to what Jerry's telling him. Can you imagine, Eddie, if Sean Payton went to the Cowboys? That would never happen because Jerry Jones wants to run the team, and I feel bad for him, Eddie, because it's gonna be his fault no matter what. Are they gonna go to the Super Bowl anytime soon? No, it's a joke. So I think he's safe this season, but I'll give him next season. If nothing happens, he's probably gonna get fired. I don't think they'll fire him after 1 year, but I think he probably got another season.
Yeah, knowing Jerry Jones, he's not going to fire him after 1 year. Even if the Cowboys were to be just as bad, well, I shouldn't say if the Cowboys go like 5-12 or some shit under Shoddy, then especially with George Pickens and CD Lamb, like that might be enough cause to be like, okay, Jerry Jones be like, hey, you're out of here, get out. But as Jerry Jones is, he's not like he's kind of like he reminds me of kind of like the ownership group of the Steelers. He's like dedicated to his coaches to a fault. Like, look how long Jason Garrett got. Some people thought Mike McCarthy should have been fired after 2023. Or I'm sorry, after 2022, Mike McCarthy should have been fired. So, or no, yeah, 2023. I think that's right. Yeah, because they just fired Mike McCarthy at the end of this last season. People were thinking that Mike McCarthy should have been gone after 2023. He's like, nope, I'm going to keep him for another year. And honestly, I'm surprised he didn't keep him for 2024, or I mean for 2025. I'm getting my years mixed up here, guys. Sorry about that. But I'd say unless they go like 5-12 or they have another season kind of like last year with Dak Prescott, then yeah, I think he's gone. But as right now, I think he's safe for at least a couple of years. So that's my opinion on that. I'm gonna next up, I'm skipping over a coach here because I want to do him last, which is our coach. The Detroit Lions. You got Dan Campbell, who was hired in 2021. His record is 39-28-1. What are your thoughts on him, Mohammed?
Honestly, Eddie, I think he's on a hot seat. Came pretty close, those past 2 seasons, but the same thing is he can't get over the hump. I understand, injuries and all that, but that happens to every team pretty much. So you couldn't really rely on that. And now his quarterback is aging. I don't think probably got a couple more seasons on him, but are they going to go to the Super Bowl? I don't think they will, Eddie. So I think this might be his last, my opinion.
I think he's got another couple of years. Like, I don't think the Lions are going to fire him, even if he has an off year this year, because like last year, injuries. I think some owners are good with that. I don't think the Lions ownerships or owners have not really had this big taste of success like they've had in recent years with Dan Campbell. The fact that he's an ex Detroit Lion player too, and the fact that he's got 2 new coordinators, I think they give him this year, even if they take a step back this year, I think they give Dan Campbell at least 2025 and 2026. Now, it also depends too. Like, it can't be horrible either. Like, this can't be like, oh, we go fucking 4-13. Oh yeah, you're gonna get another chance, Dan. You still got a talented roster. Your injury players are gonna be coming back. Even with your coordinators change, you should still be, up there trying to win the division. But I'm talking about like Super Bowl. Like, I don't think if he doesn't make the Super Bowl this year and wins it, he's gonna get fired. Like, I don't believe that at all. I think he'll get another year. But if he goes under 500 and doesn't make the playoffs, he has a really terrible record, then yeah, I could see maybe him getting fired this year, but I don't foresee that happening. I think I think the Lions will still be in the playoffs this year, and I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl. I still think he gets another year, gets a whole year with the new coordinators and everything back, or with the new coordinators, give them another year, and if they do good, if they do good this year, then they have to go on a run next year to win the Super Bowl if that's the case. So, next up, we got Green Bay Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. He was hired in 2019, so this is going into his, I think, sixth season. He is 67-33. Mohammed, what are your thoughts on this guy?
I don't know, Eddie. I think he's safe. I would say for another season, depending on how things like play out for him. But it's like every coach, Eddie. Like it depends. If some crazy happened and you have like a terrible season, you only win 3 or 4 games, then you are automatically in the hot seat. But I'd probably give him another season.
Yeah, I think he's safe for now. I don't foresee, them changing. Like they've been making the playoffs. You know, they added they added a first round receiver this year in the draft, which I bet Aaron Rodgers probably saw that and lost his damn mind.
Yep.
So I think he's still safe. He's got that team winning. He's got that team in the playoffs every year. But I'm hoping to see out of Matt LaFleur this year that he's competing for the division against the Vikings, the Detroit Lions. Like that's gonna be a stacked division this year. The Bears got Ben Johnson. As long as Ben Johnson's a good coach, you're gonna have like all four of those teams are gonna be competing for the division this year, I believe. So I think he's safe. I think his seat's ice cold right now. If he has a bad year, I still think he's safe. But that makes his leash a little bit shorter for 2026. Next up, Houston Texans, DeMeco Ryans was hired in 2023. He's 20-14. What are your thoughts on him?
I think he's safe for the most part, Eddie. I know they had a off season last season, but I don't think that was really necessarily the O line. I see that they made some improvements and stuff. I think they're going to bounce back this season. They're going to get better. So I'll give them a couple more seasons. So I would say he's safe for the most part.
Yeah, I'd say I give him at least 2 more seasons. CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump last year. I think, I mean, the one bad thing I could say about DeMeco Ryan is he literally made that offensive line worse. And that could be a fireable offense, but I don't see it happening because he got them CJ Stroud. He's got a really good defense. They got weapons. So I think he's at least safe for another couple of seasons. So that's what my take is on it. I don't think he's going to get fired this year unless it goes absolutely horribly wrong. So next up, you got the Indianapolis Colts and Shane Steichen, who was hired in 2023. He's got a record of 17-17. What are your thoughts on him, Mohammed?
I would say he's on a hot seat, Eddie. I know they got Danny Jones as a quarterback. They picked him up, but it doesn't matter. Both quarterbacks kind of suck. I don't think they're doing really well. So I don't really think they're gonna do much this season. They might just start like rebuilding. They got some good pieces in there, so I would see them probably like moving on after this season, getting another coach in there, and then rebuilding.
Yeah, I think he's on the hot seat. Like you've had what year was? I mean, he was hired in 2023, so he's had 2 seasons going to his third. Like you've had Anthony Richardson, and granted, I don't think he was the one that drafted Richardson. It was the GM that drafted him. But you got to prove something, man. Like you haven't done crap these last couple of years, so you got to show some improvement. I don't think it's going to happen. Like as a Broncos fan, like it doesn't matter how good all other parts of your team are. If your quarterback's bad, you're not doing nothing. Like Broncos fans have dealt with that. We've had top 5, top 2, top 1 defenses in the NFL for over the last 8-10 years. We've had a bad offensive line, which their offensive line I don't think is ranked that high on PFF's board. They've had weapons. The Broncos have had weapons in the past, and we just never had that quarterback, not even an average quarterback, to help us. And I think it's gonna be the same thing for Shane Steichen. Like if they play relatively well this year, he might get one more year. Maybe next year he can actually draft his quarterback in the future and actually get his guy and get a year to learn because he didn't draft Anthony Richardson. And yeah, he brought in Daniel Jones, but I don't know, man. I feel like he's on the hot seat. I feel like the Colts are gonna be bad this year again, and he's just gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So next up, you got Jacksonville Jaguars, Liam Cohen. He was hired this year, OC of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. But what are your thoughts on him?
I think he should be safe. Couple of seasons, I would give him a couple of seasons. He just got hired. They got a pretty hot prospect, wide receiver / quarterback. So I think they're gonna be okay. I don't know. I think they're gonna be okay, Eddie. This season, are they gonna make the playoffs? Possible. Not sure, but possible. But even if they don't, I think he'll get another season to prove that, because like a new head coach, so he's pretty safe. I would say a couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think he's safe for at least 3 seasons. Like you gotta get Trevor Lawrence right, see what you got. The Jags owner is not impulsive like David Tepper, so I don't think he's just gonna fire him on a whim. So I believe he's safe. He's gonna at least get a few years. Let's catch up on some comments here. We got another one here from Michael Ronquillo. Dan Campbell did play for Sean Payton in the NFL before going into coaching. Yeah, he did. But again, I don't see Dan Campbell losing his job. Like he literally brought that franchise out of the darkness. Like his tough guy, we're never gonna not go for it. Like we're always gonna go for it on fourth down mentality has really got him beloved in Detroit. So yeah. Next up, we got one from Biggie Brown. He's like, "Why is my comments not popping up?" I'm not sure what you mean, but let me know in the comments, I guess, because they're popping up here. We're just, we're trying to get through our list here. If you mean they're not popping up here, I apologize for that. We're just trying to get through our list, but just let me know what you mean, though, bud. Next up, we have. Come on, phone. I think the next one on the list is. Ooh, this guy's safe, even though I hate him. Andy Reid, Kansas City Chiefs. What are your thoughts, Mohammed?
Yeah, it's pretty safe. I guess I don't like we were saying, Eddie. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere this season, but hopefully he retires after this season. Him and Kelsey, hopefully they both retire. Are they gonna make the playoffs? I don't know, maybe, but the Super Bowl, nah. 2-3 years maybe if they rebuild, but I don't see that happening. Their years are behind them.
Yeah, Reid's safe as long as he wants to coach. He's going to coach, but I think the guy's like 70 something years old now, or he's like right at 70. Like basically on what I seen, like I watched the press conferences of the Chiefs at the end of the year after the Super Bowl. He's like, "Yeah, I'm coming back for 2025," but then he didn't. That's all he said. Based on what I seen and what the way he sounded, like it doesn't sound like he's going to come back for 2026. I think this is his last year. I really do. I'm not just saying that because I hate the Chiefs. I truly believe. Like I watched that press conference with Andy Reid. He just seems like he's got his money. He's got his rings. Like you're 70, dude. You accomplished everything you set out to accomplish. You're one of the best head coaches in the NFL ever. Go enjoy the rest of your life. And I think that's probably what he's going to do after this season. I think he's going to retire, go spend time with his family, maybe his grandkids, and just live life. So, but he wants to do that.
Sorry, I agree, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't get it. Like, even with players, I'm like, what are you trying to prove, man? Like, I mean, as normal people, we look at it like I'm like, you proved everything, and you're well off. Just go and enjoy your family. Go live your life. Like, why do you? There's nothing you need to prove, So, yeah, I think you should do that.
It's the love.
Sure.
It's the love for the game, is what it is. I see. Like even watching players whenever they retire, like it's just their love for the game. Same with coaches. It's just their love for the game. They just don't want to they love it so much they can't not see themselves not doing it no more. And it sucks, don't get me wrong. I understand it, but it's like, dude, you've done everything. Like you literally have nothing else to prove. I understand you want to do it for fun. Go coach like a high school football team or something. Get it out of your system. Like because at least high school football, it's not as, hard on, you mentally as high school football. But at least like high school football, if you go coach something like that, you have more time to spend with your family. In the NFL, you literally probably don't get to spend much time with your family because you got 6 months out of the year, 7 most likely, because for the Chiefs, case, they've been in the Super Bowl for the past 6 years. So you're doing that, and then you're off. Then you got to start preparing for the draft and free agency. Go through that. Then you got, after the draft, you got rookie mini camp, mandatory mini camp, OTAs. Then you get like 6 weeks off, and then you're right back into the swing of things with training camp. So, yeah, I like for some guys, players and coaches alike, it's just the love for the game is why they don't want to retire. Even though you can see that they're done playing as players. It's like you can just tell like they're done. Like their body's like, hey, we're done. Coaches, you can just tell when it wears on them, and they're just like, I don't know if I can do the grind anymore. Getting up at 4 a.m. to get to the meetings, and so. But, next up, we got Pete Carroll with the Las Vegas Raiders. What's your thoughts on this, Mohammed?
I think it's pretty safe, Eddie. I mean, he just got the team. He brought his quarterback, got a pretty good running back. They have a pretty good tight end. They should be okay. I would say at least 3 seasons. I mean, he's pretty old anyway. I think he's going to retire after 3 years, maybe. But he should be okay. I don't see anything crazy happening with him. So I would say pretty safe.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's safe too. Like he's 70 years old. The Raiders ain't gonna fire him. They brought him in there to change the culture and he's there for 3 years at least. And then after that, he's gonna build this roster, change the culture, and that way the next head coach comes in, can get his quarterback, and then work on the team that way. So as far as I'm concerned, he's 100% safe. Got a comment here from Diddy Brown. He's like, I commented twice on Sanders and it's not popping up. It pops up and then gets removed. I guess you guys don't like the No, that's not the case at all. I personally am not very high on Sanders because of his personality, but yeah, I don't know. Like, we're not shutting the comments off. Maybe it's a YouTube thing. I have to look into it, but if you can try to post a comment again, just no cussing. Maybe that's why StreamYard and YouTube sometimes won't allow you to cuss in the chat. So, yeah, but just try to put it in different words, context if you can, Biggie, and we'll get to it because, like, I have no problems talking about Sanders.
Yeah, Biggie, we don't have a producer, so basically, Eddie is doing all. He's pulling up the comments and stuff. Hopefully in the future we will, but yeah, we haven't removed anything.
He's got another one here. 3-year for Pete 3-year for Pete if Pete he retired. Yeah. So you're saying after 3 years he retires? Yeah, I agree. Like what is he now? 73, 74 or something like that, Mohammed? I mean, he's in his 70s. I know that.
Yeah.
After this contract's over with the Raiders, he's probably going to retire. At least I would think. But again, like I said with Andy Reid, if he's got the love for the game, I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if he loves the game that much. If he coaches until he's 80, which, wow, that's all I can say to that. So, but yeah. Next up, we got Jim Harbaugh from the Los Angeles Chargers. What are your thoughts on this one, Mohammed?
Pretty safe. He just his first season, he gets them to the playoffs. He's got the team playing pretty well. I hate to say that, Eddie, but yeah, he's pretty safe. Same thing is 2-3 seasons. If he doesn't produce anything, maybe, but for now, I would say 2-3 seasons. So safe for the most part.
Yeah, I think he's safe, even though, once again, you know how I feel about the Harbaugh brothers. He's safe. Like, that's probably the best head coach that team has had in years. But it's going to be a struggle for him. Like, I will say, it's not going to be easy for him because, I think the Chiefs are still going to be a solid team, even though I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. There's still going to be a hard-fought win. Same with the freaking Raiders. The Raiders, granted they don't have the greatest roster in the world, but there's still going to be a hard-fought win. They're going to fight and battle for Pete Carroll. I guarantee you that. And the Broncos, come on, like the Broncos ain't going to be no easy cakewalk either. Like this whole division is hard. Even the
Yep.
team and the Raiders, who everybody knows are going to be coming in last place, they're still going to be a hell of a fight to put up with. Like they're going to make you earn a win. So I think he's safe for now, honestly, but we'll have to see. Next up, Sean Payton, Los Angeles Rams. What are your thoughts on him?
Sean Payton, Denver Broncos.
Say what?
He said Sean Payton, Los Angeles Rams. I was like,
oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the comment. That's my fault. That's my fault.
No, I know what you mean.
Los Angeles Rams, Sean McVay. My apologies. I'm losing it, dude. I'm trying to read the comments.
I mean, I would say he's, you skipped our guy though, didn't you, Eddie?
I was gonna do him last.
You do him last? Okay. Well, Sean McVay, I think he's pretty safe. I mean, last season I saw that they actually improved. They played pretty well, and I assume that's going to continue. If some crazy happened this season, maybe, but I think he should be safe.
Yeah, Sean McVay's safe, 100%. Like he won the franchise the Super Bowl a few years back, and he's still like, even with a roster that kind of got depleted after that Super Bowl win and an aging Matthew Stafford, he still got them in the playoffs. He still got them competing. So Sean McVay has a job as long as Sean McVay wants a job in Los Angeles. There's no doubt about that. Oh, here we go. Biggie came in with another comment. He's like, everything that's coming out of Cleveland, Sanders is unable to get the playbook down. That's one of the biggest reasons he fell in the draft. I didn't hear about that one. I heard the reason why he fell in the draft is because his interviews were terrible. Like he interviewed poorly. Like he was just like, "Hey, you guys are going to do this for me." But if that's the reason, like, yeah, I can understand why. If he can't get the playbook down, yeah. What are your thoughts for Big E here, Mohammed?
Yeah, I like with him. It's really difficult to tell what's going on with him. But hey, I think only time will tell, Eddie. He's got the talent. If he's put on the right system, he should play pretty well. But as far as the playbook, I'm not sure about that one. But that's a big one on the NFL, man. If you have an issue reading the playbook, learning quickly, thinking on your feet, that's going to be an issue for him. So I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, I hope he pans out because I want to watch Dor have a really good NFL career. But if he's having a hard time getting the playbook down, along with his attitude, his personality, like he's not going to have a long NFL career. That's for damn sure. But next one we got up is Mike McDaniel of the Miami Dolphins. Mohammed, what do you think of this one?
I think he's on a hot seat, Eddie. I mean, he's been with the Dolphins, 4 years? I think he's like a 28, 23.
He's been with them since 2022.
22, yeah. So I think they're on a rebuild mode. I don't know about their quarterback, how long he's gonna play. I honestly thought he should have retired last season after that hit, but he continues to play. I think he's on a hot seat, Eddie. If they miss the playoffs this season, which I think they might, trading all their players, he's gone. They're going to be looking for a new head coach.
Yeah, he's on the hot seat. I think he's gone after this year. I think the Dolphins missed the playoffs, and Mike McDaniel's going. And it's not that I hate him. I think he's a good coach. I should say good coach. He's a good play caller. It's just, what the hell are they doing down there? Like, their offensive line's not that good. They got Tyreek Hill upset with them. And they traded freaking Jalen Ramsey for Micah Fitzpatrick, a safety, who wanted out of Miami years ago. He didn't want to be there anymore. Now he's going back. They got rid of their tight end, and then they're bringing Darren Waller out of retirement and traded for him from the Giants. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing down there in Miami. I think he's on the hot seat. I think the Dolphins missed the playoffs. I think the Dolphins move on from Tua after this year, and they move on from Mike McDaniel. I almost said Mike or whatever his name is. Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell. What are your thoughts on him?
I honestly think he's safe, Eddie. I guess depending on their quarterback, I don't know what his situation is going to be, but um, you know, is he going to be ready? Is he still hurt? I don't know, but we shall see what happens. I think he's got at least a couple of years, so I would say he's safe.
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell's safe. Like he's 34 and 17. He's been there since for four. This is his fourth year he's going into. He's dealt with Kirk Cousins. He's dealt with Josh Dobbs. He's had Sam Darnold. Now he's got like if he, I think he's got a couple of years. He drafted this guy last year. It sucks that he got hurt and got bumped out for the season, but he turned Sam Darnold into a good quarterback last year and got Sam Darnold the deal in Seattle. So he's safe. His seat's ice cold, in my opinion. Next up, we got the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel. What are your thoughts on this one, Mohammed?
I would say pretty safe, Eddie. Got a hot quarterback up and coming. It's his first season. Made some pretty good moves, I would say. So he's got at least 3 years. So I would say ice cold, as you said.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel, same, ice cold. After what he did with the Titans in um, Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill, one year he got him, he had him in the playoffs almost every year, had him in the one seed one year. Now that he's got a quarterback and Drake May and he's going to build that roster, he's safe for the coming years. So I'd say ice cold. Next up, New Orleans Saints, you got Kellen Moore. What are your thoughts on that, Mohammed?
I don't know, Eddie. That one, he like is his first season. Is he gonna get fired? I don't think so. I mean, they're gonna give him a few years. Um, have they addressed the quarterback position? Not too sure. We shall see. But I think because he just got his contract and stuff, I'll probably give him a couple of years.
Yeah, I think he's fine for now. I'll give him a couple of years because, like, this team, it's like the worst roster in the NFL in the New Orleans Saints. So,
So one
I
shot
give him a
left.
few years.
Yeah.
I give him a few years to get under the cap and build this roster the right way. Excuse me. Next up, you got Brian Dayball, New York Giants. What are your thoughts on this one, Mohammed?
He's like his seat is on fire, Eddie. I mean, he's been there what 3 years? I feel bad for the guy, Eddie. His quarterback, his starter is Russell Wilson. So I don't know, like maybe Josh Dart might save him if he plays him at some point. I think he will. Um, Maybe if he shows like some signs that could be their franchise quarterback, he might be safe. But all signs lead to him not coaching after this season, Eddie. So I'll say the hottest seat, the NFL.
Yeah, Brian Dayball. I think he's gone after this year. Like, you got the like. I mean, other than the Cleveland Browns situation with quarterback, like you got Tommy DeVito, you got Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and you got Jackson Dart. Like, you literally have is like you got four quarterbacks on your roster right now. Um, I don't see him like hell. I'll even put it out there. I don't see him making it through the season. I think they're going to be really bad. Like, and don't get me wrong, their defense is great. Like, they have a really great weapon in Malik Neighbors, and their defense is good, but their quarterbacks are atrocious. Like, Dayball's gone. Like, his seat is probably the hottest in my opinion. Um, Next up, you got Aaron Glenn from the New York Jets. What are your thoughts on him, Mohammed?
Yeah, they're gonna be atrocious, Eddie. I don't. I mean, he just got the job, so I guess he's safe for a few seasons. But I don't really think they're gonna be doing much. To be honest with you, the roster needs a lot of rebuilding, and I guess he's good for a couple of seasons, but I don't see him staying more than that.
Yeah, I think he's safe. If Robert Sala got like what was it, 3-4 years, I'm pretty sure Aaron Glenn's going to get a couple of years. So I think I'm not going to say it's ice cold, but I think he's relatively safe. I say it's probably like chilly. His seat's chilly, basically. Um, Next up, Nick Sirianni for the Philadelphia Eagles.
As safe as they can go. He's pretty good. Took him fresh off of a Super Bowl, so probably the safest job in the NFL.
Yeah, I think his job is safe. Personally, I really do. You just won the Super Bowl. Like that's what
What else?
all teams want
Yeah,
to do in this league.
the ultimate
So
goal, right?
he's safe. Yeah, he's safe. There's really no other detail to go in. He won this. He's a Super Bowl champion, winning head coach. So, um, next up, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I don't think they're gonna go anywhere, Eddie. Like, yeah, they got Aaron Rodgers. I see they picked up some players. They traded for some players, all that. But even if they make the playoffs somehow, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna win a Super Bowl. Um, are the Steelers gonna let him go? I doubt it, Eddie. Unless he says, you know what, this is not working out. I'm tired. I'll go to another team, try my luck. And with the way the NFL is now, offense driven, it's gonna be hard to be a coach. I think if he leaves, but they wouldn't fire him unless he says he wants out.
Um, I'm not gonna say a seat's hot or cold. I think it's even, but I do believe if Mike Tomlin winds up having a losing season and missing the playoffs, I think that finally might be enough for the organization to say, Tomlin, we got to move on. And it's not gonna be like, oh, we're moving on because you're a bad head coach. It's we need to move on. We need a fresh blood in here. We need to go our separate ways. You need to go off and do your thing. We need to go off and do our thing. Just party of the ways. No one's wrong. It's just what's best for both parties. I think he's overstayed his welcome in Pittsburgh. I think it just his message has become stale in Pittsburgh. So, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to say his seat's hot because he's going to get fired because he's a bad head coach. Um, I think he's going to get let go because it's going to be his first losing season ever, and they're going to miss the playoffs. That's just what I think. The AFC's too tough. Their division's too tough. And honestly, Aaron Rodgers does not move the needle for me from Russell Wilson. It really don't. Especially now since TJ Watt wants a new contract and he's not participating in anything, like that's even worse. So,
Yep.
Next up, you got Kyle Shanahan, San Francisco 49ers. What are your thoughts on him?
That one that's a tough one, Eddie. I mean, they lost a lot of players, you know. Um, well, we got like two players from them, right? Thank you, San Francisco. But yeah, the talent is not. I don't know, Eddie. Like they have to pay their quarterback. They lost a lot of players. I don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs, Eddie. Are the you think the organization is gonna fire him? I don't think so. He probably got another
No.
season too, and it's like a package. Him and Lynch, right? Like I mean, they fire him,
Yeah.
both be gone at the same time. So probably a couple more seasons.
Yeah, I think he's safe. I think they're going to at least give him another 3 years at minimum. Rebuild this roster, get some of those pieces back that they lost, like Hufanga, Greenlaw, Debo. Just build this roster back up again. I think he's going to get another chance at doing that. So I think he's safe for now. Seattle Seahawks, Mike Mike McDonald. What are your thoughts on him?
Pretty safe. I mean, just got their quarterback. Well, they traded their quarterback. They got a fresh quarterback from the what's his name? Lost my train of thoughts here, Eddie. But I think he's safe. Probably 2 more seasons. Their team is pretty stacked as far as talent. So I think he's got a couple of seasons. So I would say he's safe.
Yeah, I say he's safe too. Pete Carroll was there for what, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. I think Mike McDonald is perfectly safe in Seattle. Defense is still really good. And they're always competitive. Like even last year, they were competitive. I don't think they made the playoffs last year, but they were still competitive in games. I think they're going to give him a few more years to build this roster up right and see what Sam Darnold is. If Sam Darnold is still that same quarterback we saw last year, then I think his leash is going to get a lot longer. Next up, Todd Bowles from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I would say he's safe, Eddie. I mean, he's been pretty good this past couple of seasons. So I would say maybe 2 more seasons, if nothing, like they don't really make it, like they don't get closer to Super Bowl, maybe. But I would say he's safe for the most part.
Yeah, he's safe. He's got his quarterback. They got a good defense. They won the division last year. Um, until like unless the Bucks have a complete collapse, like I think he's safe. He's a good head coach. He's always got that team ready to go. They're a good team to play against. They're a hard, win to get against. So I think he's safe. We gotta have to start rapid firing through some of these things because we're over an hour already. Tennessee Titans, Brian Callahan. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he's got a couple of years, and he's just got a quarterback. You know, pretty good prospect, I think. So I would say 2, 3 seasons. Give him some time, rebuild around his quarterback, and see. Too bad they have to play the Broncos week 1, but he's got a couple of seasons safe.
Yeah, I think he's safe. He's got Cam Ward. They're probably going to give him at least 2 to 3 seasons together and see how it goes before they do anything with their head coach. Washington Commanders, Dan Quinn.
Oh, pretty safe, Eddie. I mean, got a
He's 100% safe.
quarterback.
You take a rookie quarterback to the championship game, you're safe 1,000%. Which leads us to our last head coach, Sean Payton with the Denver Broncos. What are your thoughts on him?
Eddie, the king of coaches. He took us from where we were. He gets a quarterback that nobody thought should be even drafted in the first, right? But look at us now. We made the playoffs. We're pretty hot. We think we're gonna win some more games this season. He took a job that nobody really wanted, honestly. So yeah, pretty safe. I think he's gonna get an extension in a couple of years.
Yeah, in my opinion, Sean Payton's that same kind of head coach he's not going to get fired from this team. He's going to be the one to have to leave.
Exactly.
Like, it's going to be on him. If he wants to keep coaching, he's going to be in Denver for the rest of his career. As long as he wants to keep coaching, he's going to be here. Like you said it yourself, what he did with this roster, took a quarterback that was old, washed, with the biggest dead cap hit, got a rookie quarterback with hardly any weapons into the playoffs. Like, that in itself at least secures, in my opinion, Sean Payton for another 5 years. It does. And like I said, I don't think he's only, I think, 61 or 62. And with the way coaches are going, coaching into their mid 70s now, we could have Sean Payton for another 12, 13 years. And if he keep him and Bo Nix together for the next, 12, 13 years together, if they're dominating and winning Super Bowls and just winning at all, Sean Payton's not going to get fired. He's going to, as long as he wants to be here, he's going to be here. So, let's see. We got a few comments here I want to get through before we move on to the next topic. Let's see what we got. We got Biggie Bronco here. He's like, yeah, he went to interviews with the playbooks and didn't know the playbooks. He was unable to get on down in it. That sort of amount. Oh, so basically he's saying Shador wasn't able to understand the playbooks and he wasn't able to get it down. Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, once again, I haven't heard anything. Let me know, Big E, where you heard that from, because all the stuff I've heard about Shador was just his attitude. Like, he literally came in acting like he was all that. And like, the franchise was lucky to draft him, is what I heard. I mean, I'm not saying neither one, both of them can't be the truth, but that's just what I heard. What about you, Muhammad?
Yeah, I mean, like you hear all these rumors, and yeah, with that one, Big E, if that's the main thing. If it's not up there, if he can't read the playbooks and stuff, you can't make it on the on the NFL. That's one of the main things. So, too bad for him, man. He's not gonna make it. He's gonna be gone in a few years if that's the case.
Got another comment here from Michael Ronquillo. Quarterback Shador Sanders is going to be a diva in the NFL draft. Yeah, it seemed like he was, like, him and his dad both. Like, I love Deion Sanders. He's surefire Hall of Famer. I have all the respect in the world for him. But even like we saw the videos of draft night whenever Shador didn't get taken in the first round. We saw Dion absolutely like lose it. He just like, what the hell, He was mad at the Saints. He was mad at the Browns. He was mad at everybody for not taking the son in the first round. But yeah, that's what happens whenever you grow up with the spotlight on you pretty much your entire, life. So, but it is what it is. Hopefully he can maybe tone it down and to Big E's point, hopefully he can learn the playbook, tone down the diva-ness, and just go out there and play ball and be good. I want to watch Shador Sanders. I want to watch him be good in the NFL, but if he's going to be a diva and he can't get the playbook down, then yeah, I'd rather not watch him. So, we got another one here from Michael. He's like, Brian Daboll is on the hot. Oh yeah, definitely. We established that he is definitely on the hot seat. He's probably the number one head coach on the NFL hot seat this year. Seriously. Like, you've had years to deal with what you had. You couldn't do anything with it. So, yeah, he's big time on the hot seat. Next up, we got another one from Michael here. He's like, they have wide receiver Cooper Kupp on the Seattle. Yeah, but a lot of people I've seen talk about, they think Cooper Kupp is washed. Like, I'm not saying that, but they think Cooper Kupp is washed. And honestly, like, again, Mike McDonald, he's safe. It's just, I think the biggest question in Seattle right now is not the coach, it's the quarterback.
True.
What is Sam Darnold? What is he going to do? That's the biggest talking point I've heard from Seahawks fans and their media, honestly. Another one here, he's like, Biggie, it was reported on a Cleveland network that he was unable. Okay, I'll have to go check that out. I usually listen to a lot of podcasts while I'm at work during the week, so I'm going to try to look that up, Biggie, and check it out and see if I can find anything on that. But next up, the next topic I want to get onto is PFF ranked all the offensive lines this past week. But we're going to start from the top here. We're like I said, we're going to shoot through these real quick because we're an hour and 12 minutes already. But Mohammed, the best offensive line in the league, according to PFF, is the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you have any problems, or what's your thoughts on that?
No, that's pretty accurate. I have no problem with it. They do actually have a pretty good line. That's probably one of the reasons, along with their D line, the main reasons why they won the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I have a problem with it, man. Well deserved.
Yeah, I think they are the best offensive line in the league. And it was proven, like, watching them. I mean, I knew it before last year, but Saquon Barkley, watching him go off last year after him being on a Giants team that was horrible for years, it was fun to watch. Like, that offensive line actually gave him holes and gave him lanes to run through. So it was actually fun to watch. Number 2, our boys, PFF ranked the Denver Broncos number 2. Mohammed, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm pretty happy about that, Eddie. I mean, usually with PFF, you don't know what you might get because they'll be having some wild takes, right? But hey, they got a second. I think the Broncos deserve it. The only thing about the Broncos, Eddie, is like the depth behind that O-line is a little bit shaky, I would say. But yeah, we have a pretty good O-line, and it's going to even be better this season because this is their second year altogether. So,
yep. Continuity is key.
Absolutely.
And this group is coming back together for a second year in a row. And number 2, love it. Like, I mean, and I'm a Broncos fan through and through. You guys know this, but so far this list is spot on. Eagles 1, Broncos 2. They have a really, really good offensive line. And who is that credited to? Sean Payton. That's what an offensive coach knows what to do. He knows how to build the freaking trenches on the offense and defense, honestly. Next up, number 3, Buffalo Bills. What are your thoughts on this one, Mohammed?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, Eddie. I mean, they actually manhandled our D line last game we played. So yeah, they have a pretty good O line. So being ranked 3rd, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. Buffalo has a really good offensive line, which honestly shocks me because they got a defensive guy as head coach, but they built that offensive line. And honestly, sometimes a good offensive line with them being ranked as high as they are could also be dependent on the quarterback too and the scheme, but a lot on the quarterback because like the quarterback gets rid of the ball quickly. He makes his offensive line look better than what they are. And Josh Allen, like he gets rid of the ball quick. Um, Now that's not the case for every quarterback out there. There's some that, even if they're good quarterbacks, the offensive line's just that bad that they literally there ain't nothing they can do. But next up, this one kind of got me a little bit. Like I'm not going to argue with it because they rebuilt it this offseason, but Chicago Bears are at number 4. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they're ranked too high, Eddie. Sort of agree with you because it's being based on the additions they added this season. The players they traded for. So I don't think we necessarily would know if they're all going to mesh together. So I think that's pretty high.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I don't really like it. Like, I mean, you added 3 new pieces on your interior offensive line. I can't remember who the right guard was, but they got Delman from the Falcons and they traded for Tooney from the Chiefs. Don't get me wrong; these guys are good offensive linemen, but it's also about how they gel, how they cope with the system. You know, but if they gel together, they work well in the system. This could be a top 5 offensive line at the end of this year. But as right now, I think ranking them number 4 is a little too high for my tasting. Next up, you have the Indianapolis Colts at number 5. What are your thoughts on this one, Mohammed?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, Eddie. I keep thinking about Quentin Nelson. He was right there. We could have picked him. I mean, that's a topic, for a different podcast. But yeah, I don't have an issue with it. Their O line is decent. They don't have a quarterback, but their O line is pretty decent.
Yeah, Quentin Nelson's the main one. Like they lost 2 of their big offensive linemen, which is shocking why they got him up this high. They lost center Ryan Kelly and guard Will Fries to the Vikings. So I guess we'll have to see what they're going to be. But Quentin Nelson averaged an 81.3 PFF overall grade last year, 4th amongst all guards in the NFL. So maybe that's why. I'm not sure. Seems kind of high to me. Next up, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 6.
I think a little bit higher than I would have put them, Eddie, but their O line is decent, so I guess I don't have an issue with it. Could have been a little like 8 or 9, but
I think their offensive line got a boost by Tristan Wirfs because he's like the best left tackle in the game.
Yep.
Last year, he had a PFF grade of 94.1 in pass blocking. So he's like arguably the best tight end in the game. So I think that's the reason why they bumped him up so much. So yeah, Luke Gutke, I think is his name, and guard Cody Munch in 2024 development stood out as blockers. So they had a couple of young guys that really stood out last year in blocking. So I guess that's the reason why. And they have still a lot of continuity on that line too. Next up, Minnesota Vikings, number 7. What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, they're pretty decent last season. So yeah, I don't have an issue with them being at 7.
Their tackles are like the top 10, or they're like the top duo of tackles in the NFL, and Christian Darsall and Brian O'Neill. So, no arguments there. They got Ryan Kelly from the Colts, and they also got Will Fries guard from the Colts also. So they really upgraded their offensive line. But again, these are good players, but how do they fit in the system? How do they fit together? Are they going to be good enough together? Are they going to gel as a unit? That's the big question. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons are at number 8.
That's like the one before Eddie. They're pretty decent. I don't have an issue with them being a number 8. They get their guard. Yeah. So I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, their offensive line's good. I got the stats here. Left tackle last year, Matthews was a 79. Left guard, Barrington, I think his name is, was 70. The center, since they got a new center this year, since they lost their center to the Chicago Bears, Nilsol, I think his name is, he was like a 60. Right guard
Mhm.
Linderstorm, he was or Lindstorm, he was 93, and then the right tackle McGray was at 73. So pretty solid offensive line. I wouldn't put him in the top 10, maybe like top 15, but that's just my opinion. Next up, you got the New York Jets. What do you think of this one?
I'm a bit surprised, Eddie. I mean, I guess it's that their problem is not having a quarterback. Maybe that's why it doesn't show. But their O line is pretty stacked, I would say. So I don't have an issue with it. I guess Eddie 9.
Well, I don't have an issue with it because they've invested a lot of stock, a lot of draft resources into that offensive line over the last couple of years. And they brought in some top tier, they brought in Tyron Smith from the Cowboys, Morgan Moses, Olu Fashanu, and Membro, I think is his name. Two guys one guy they drafted last year, one guy they drafted this year. But again, like to me, man, it's all about the continuity. Like, are they going to gel together? Are they going to work well together? Like the system, are they going to fit in it? Like, I mean, but that's like that for every position. But still, man, that's like my biggest thing. Like, how do these guys work together? They got to learn each other's quirks. They got to learn each other's, bodies and movements. Like, they got to learn all this kind of stuff about each other. Next up, this one kind of sucks because I really wish they weren't that high, but the Los Angeles Chargers at number 10.
Yeah, Sam Eddie. I agree with you. Hate to rate them this high, but they're pretty good. You know, so too bad we have to deal with them. But 10 is not too high for them.
Yeah, because their tackle duo with Rashawn Slater at left tackle and then Joel Holt at right tackle. Like, granted, he was a rookie last year, but their tackle situation is going to be really, really good. Like, I don't like the Chargers, but Jim Harbaugh, or is it Jim? Yeah, Jim Harbaugh knows how to build an offensive line and a run game. I will give him that. So, Carolina Panthers at number 11. This one kind of shocking to me. What about you?
Me too, Eddie. I don't know where that comes from, but I guess their right guard, Robert Hunt, is pretty decent, paired with Damian Lewis. So I don't know, maybe somewhere in the middle would make more sense, 15, 16, but that's what they have. That's what they have.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. Like, watching them last year, like they protected Bryce Young pretty well. Um, Especially the run game, I think the offensive line was better in. Like their run game was a lot better than their passing game. But I think after Bryce Young got benched, came back, he was getting the football out faster. So that made the offensive line look a little bit better. So next up, you got the San Francisco 49ers at 12.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, Eddie. Their left tackle is getting old though. Trent Williams is what, 37? They're gonna have to draft one pretty soon. I don't know if they did last season or not, but that should be a priority for them. But he's been a really good left tackle for them. It's probably one of the main reasons why their O line is there. So yeah, I don't have an issue with them being ranked number 12.
Yeah, I'm fine with the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan's really good at building offensive lines. They still have Trent Williams, even though he's that old. Like, he literally is still one of the best left tackles in the game. Even for his age, man, he still plays out of his mind. I think he's coming off an injury this year. So hopefully he can keep that same energy this year to keep, Brock Purdy upright, from his blind side. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Next up, Detroit Lions. What are your thoughts on this one? Number 13.
I don't have an issue with it. I mean, they were pretty decent, but they did lose a couple of players, I guess, to retirement that might affect them next season. But yeah, they're pretty decent.
Yeah, they lost Frank Ragnow and Kevin Zeiler to retirement. Um, it looks like their 2024 sixth round pick is slated to start Christian McGohey, I think his
Mhm.
name is, and
Yeah.
they still got Panay School on the outside. So I don't know. I just think ranking them at 13 is way too high. If they lost two key starters on that offensive line, the interior offensive line. They have to, like, you can't just sit there like, yeah, they still got Panay Sewell, even though they lost their starting center and another starting, lineman. That means they're still top 15. I don't think so. We're just gonna have to wait. And the fact that they lost their OC, and now they're going to have to learn a whole new system. I don't know, dude. I would not rank them at 13. Green Bay Packers, number 14. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Eddie, about what you were just saying. I like with PFF. I don't know, like if their ranks is based on what happened last season and not looking at what's going to happen in the future as far as like losing tackles or not. Because with the Bears, they had them ranked pretty high, based on the players that they actually traded for, right? So it's weird. I don't know how they're doing their ranking, but the Green Bay Packers, they're pretty decent as far as their line. What they have, their first round pick, Jordan Morgan, the 2024, is expected to start at right guard. They also signed guard Aaron Banks. So I guess they're decent. 14.
I'd say, yeah, they're probably ranked about middle of the pack average. They should be close to maybe like 15 or 16. But again, we just got to see how they gel together this year and see how they go together. Next up, you got the Los Angeles Rams at 15. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they're okay at their O line. So I guess they're ranked on the right spot. Yeah, 15, 16, somewhere around there. So I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. Arlick Jackson in free agency after he earned a career high of 78.4 PFF grade in 2024 was ranked 18th amongst offensive tackles. So they upgraded their offensive tackle position. They still have Rob Harvenstein, I believe his name is. But again, when you bring in new pieces to the offensive line to a new system, again, it's about the gelling. I know I keep saying this, guys, but it is. Like, can they get the system down? Do they know the ins and outs of their players' movements, their quarterback? And that's the one hard thing about playing offensive line, just to touch on this, is like offensive line is so hard to play for, because if you have a quarterback like a Russell Wilson that literally does not get rid of the ball that fast and you don't know where he's at back there, you'd be like, okay, he got rid of the ball. It's already gone. Or, he's behind me and you don't know he's behind the center still. You think he's still like in the middle of there in the pocket. Really, he rolled out to the outside and the offensive lineman's like, oh crap. And they don't know he's out there. So but yeah, like I'm fine with it with the Rams being ranked up there because they still have Sean McVay, but it's just the continuity, man. I have to harp on that. Next up, you got the Arizona Cardinals, which I think they still have a lot of their offensive line intact. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they're ranked somewhere in the middle. That should be that's reasonable, and they have to because of their quarterback situation. Have to have a good O line. Can't see above the line, but I mean, is what it is.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. They actually have a solid offensive line, but Kyler Murray's gonna have the same issues as Russell Wilson does. Can't see over the offensive line, so they got to roll out. And again, like I said just a few minutes ago, as an offensive lineman, you don't know where your quarterback's at. Like he could be sitting right behind the center, or he could be outside the pocket towards the sideline. You don't know because you're busy blocking and you don't know where you're blocking. So, but next up, this one seems kind of low to me because I'm pretty sure they're bringing all their offensive linemen back, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. What are your thoughts on them being 17?
Yeah, and I honestly think, Eddie, is just what you were just saying. Having a quarterback like Lamar Jackson helps you a lot because a lot of teams are going to sit back and they're not knowing if he's going to run or what is he about to do. He's a dual threat quarterback. Having Derrick Henry also helps too. So yeah, they could have been ranked a little bit higher, maybe a 13 or 14, but yeah.
Next up, I believe at number 18 is your favorite team, Mohammed, the Las Vegas Raiders. They are ranked at number 18. What do you think about that?
God, Eddie, I hate them with a passion. But shit. I mean, they have a quarterback too. I mean, they have a running back too now. So I guess they're decent. I didn't think they were that good last season to begin with. So where they're ranked, I think, is where they should be, 18, 19, somewhere around there. So yeah, I don't have an issue with it.
No, I don't either. Like most of their offensive line are all still the same guys as last year. So, they got continuity. They're having to learn a new system, new quarterback. So, I don't mind them at 18. That puts them in bottom half in the league. So, I'm fine with it. Next up, the Washington Commanders at number 19. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they should have been ranked higher, Eddie. If they're talking about additions, I know they added Tonsil. They traded for him this season. So I think they should be a little bit higher. With their quarterback, same thing, dual threat. That should help them a lot. So yeah, I think they can be better next season. But
yeah, I think they should be higher. I think they should be in like the mid port, like 15, 14, because they did add a tackle to help Jaden Daniels out. So I don't see how that doesn't make them higher on this list, to be honest with you. It just kind of baffles me. But I don't like them being ranked at 19. Next up, my personal favorite, the Kansas City Chiefs are ranked the worst in the AFC West, and they're ranked at 20. Mohammed, what are your thoughts?
I think they should be ranked 32, Eddie. They were already like atrocious last season, and they started trading their O-line. I don't get what they're doing over there, Eddie, but I think they should be ranked somewhere in the 30s, not 20. I think this is too high.
So they got a rookie starting in one tackle. They got their center who's good. They got a right guard that's good, and Smith. And they got, like I said, their center, Creed Humphrey, he's good. Don't know what they're doing at right tackle. They're starting a rookie at one tackle spot. And then their left guard was a backup for the San Francisco 49ers. Like, they're cooked. They're cooked. They're not going to be able to deal with Max Crosby. They're not going to be able to deal with Khalil Mack or Zach Allen or any of the guys in their division in the pass rush. Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper, anybody on the Chargers, Raiders, or Broncos defensive line. The Chiefs, like, Mahomes better be ready to scramble all season. That's all I can say. I think they're ranked too high, honestly. Next up, Pittsburgh Steelers at 21. This, to me, seems a bit high, but what about you?
Yep, I agree with you, Eddie. They better be good because they have Aaron Rodgers in the backfield. Yeah, I think they should be a little bit lower, Eddie. But like I said, man, they have to do something because Aaron Rodgers is very fragile. He's what, 41?
Yep. He's going to be 42 sometime in the season. And also, I have to put this out there. I think the reason why some of these offensive lines get ranked so high, I'm not saying all, but some, is because of their quarterback. Like, PFF looks at it like, hey, the quarterback, he's going to be able to get the ball out of his hands a lot faster. So that means the offensive line is going to be solid. As long as I can hold up for 2 seconds where the quarterback, he's going to get the ball out of his hands fast, then they'll be all right. Not for all teams, but I think for some, that's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because PFF sometimes, to me, like a lot of the times, they don't make logical sense. But like they'll say one thing, and the next week they'll contradict what they said the previous week. So, next up, this one kind of hides me. New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I honestly think it's a little bit higher than where I would put them, Eddie. But with those last, I guess, 10 teams, it could go either way, really. If they're just bad, they're just bad. It's not gonna make any difference. But I think they should be a little bit lower.
Yeah, same. And usually, if you're in the bottom 10 offensive line, you're typically not going to have a great season. Your quarterback's probably going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off if you ain't got an elite quarterback. And most of these teams that are bottom in here probably don't have very good quarterbacks, which brings me up to our next point. The Dallas Cowboys are ranked at 23rd. What are your thoughts, Mohammed?
America's team. Yeah, it's sad because that was something that they were known for in the past. It's their O-line. They always had the best O-line and stuff. Running the ball and doing all this. It's just crazy where they have gotten. So yeah, it could go either way, Eddie. Their O-line is just not good. So.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's good. They got a bunch of, they got at least one rookie on there and a bunch of young guys, inexperienced guys. So only time will tell. New system, new line. Like, Dak coming back, we'll have to see how that goes from a bad injury. But I think they're probably ranked a little too high here. Next up, I think these guys ain't ranked high enough, in my opinion. Even though I think the Titans are a good, they're a bad team. Their offensive line's not really all that bad. You got J.C. Latham, you got Cushenberry, who we know here in Denver is a solid center. And you also added guard Kevin Ziegler in free agency. But what are your thoughts, Mohammed?
I don't know, Eddie. If I hope you're right because guess who they're playing week 1? If they're not good, they're gonna, he's gonna be running for his life. I'm telling you, the Broncos, their D line, their defense is gonna be coming for them. So, yeah, they better be better than that.
I think with week 1, learning Cam Ward, Ziegler being new there, J.C. Latham in year 2 with Lloyd Cushenberry, and they got a couple of new guys there. Could this be like? I'm not saying this because I think it's going to happen, but could this be the Lloyd Cushenberry revenge game against the Broncos? No, no.
Why are you trying to work me, Eddie? Like, I didn't even think of that possibility.
It's not going to happen. Zach Allen's going to run over his ass faster than freaking. I don't even know, dude. Like Zach Allen's just going to plow through him.
Yeah, it's going to be a torpedo.
So, game 1 on the road, Mile High with Cam Ward. The kid's going to be bright lights first time. He's going to be frozen. Like he's young too. He's not like Bo Nix was last year. Years of college experience, like 6 years and older, more mature. He's gonna be out there trying not to get destroyed. So
he'll be like, I can't breathe. What is going on with the air in here?
Yeah. Next up, you got the Miami Dolphins at 25. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, their O-line is not good, and I honestly feel bad for their quarterback, Eddie, because he's already got the injury history. One more hit, and their O-line is like that. I don't know, Eddie. Yeah.
And well, Terran Armstead, he retired this year, so that just made their offensive line worse. I think they're ranked probably right where they should be, about 24 or 25, maybe a little bit lower, but I don't see no problem with them being at 25. 26, the Jacksonville Jaguars. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, another team with a terrible O-line. Could go lower than that possibly, but yeah, 26 is not bad.
Yeah, Jaguars. Yeah, I'd say 26. They got Trevor Lawrence freaking killed last year. It seems like he had 2 big injuries. I know the one he was rolling out and running, but another one I think he got hit in the pocket because the offensive line gave up a pressure, and they were giving up pressures all time last year. So yeah, I'm fine with them being at 26. Cleveland Browns 27. What are your thoughts to that?
Yeah, man, they're pretty average, I would say. Look at some numbers here too. Doesn't seem like they have anybody flashing as far as their 60s, as far as their averages. The left tackle is actually what Jones is 48.4. It's not good news for any quarterback that actually plays with that team. So.
Well, I like their guards. Both their guards, Joel Bitonio and right guard Wyatt Teller. I think they can still be solid. They're getting older, but they can still be solid. But as far as their tackles, man, whoever the quarterback is, best of luck to you this year. That's all I can say. You better hope that pass rush doesn't get to you on the edges. So, let's see who's up next. Up next, number 28, the New York Giants. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think they were that good last season. As far as the number, hey, they could be a little bit lower or higher. It doesn't really matter, but not a good O-line, Eddie.
Yeah, the best player they have on the offensive line is their left tackle and Andrew Thomas. The rest of them are a bunch of unknowns. You don't know who they are or what they're going to do. So I'd say they probably should be a little bit lower, but that's just me. New England Patriots, 29. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, not good news for their fresh, hot, upcoming quarterback, for sure. It's not a good thing. I don't think they really addressed it neither, right? We shall
They
see.
did. They drafted a left tackle in the first round, Will Campbell, this year.
Will Campbell, yep. So, yeah, I forgot about that one. So hopefully he pans out. I don't know how long it's going to take him, but they do need to have a good online if they want to see any success with their quarterback.
Yeah, and a good thing to start with Will Campbell at left tackle. Hopefully that guy turns out, because at least if you solidify that spot, at least you're protecting Drake May's blind side. You know, if you're a right-handed quarterback, left tackle is imperative. Like and if you're a left-handed quarterback, right tackle is imperative. Like whichever side you turn your back to, you want to make sure that side's protected, because you don't want to get wallop from behind and not realize it's coming.
Yeah, that's how you get hurt too.
Yeah. Number 30, Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, Eddie. They didn't have the best all line last season. You know, I don't see it being any better this season. Let me see here. Well, they got their first round pick, Gray Zabel. We shall see how that goes to the left guard, but not looking good, Eddie.
Yeah, they were a bottom offensive line last year in the NFL, and if Sam Darnold reverts back to his old self, like this offensive line is going to look a lot more horrible than what it was probably last year too. So hopefully that's not the case, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. This one kind of makes me happy a little bit in a sense, because we face these guys, and I believe, what is it, week 4? And that is the Cincinnati Bengals. They are ranked at 31. What are your thoughts on that?
Yep. I don't know if they should be this low, Eddie, but they're going to get Zach Taylor fired, and I think our defense is going to eat when we play him. Good luck.
Well, apparently they overhauled their guard position with journeyman Lucas Patrick and third-round pick Dylan Fairchild. So they got 2 guards that are literally a third-round pick and, a journeyman, as PFF says, at the other guard position. And then their tackle position, Orlando Brown Jr. was ranked 58.2 PFF grade last year. And then Amarius Mims, their rookie from last year, averaged a 58 or 57.8, made him 67th in the NFL, and Orlando Brown was 66th among 81 qualifiers. So these guys were bottom tier offensive tackles last year. And we played them last year in Cincinnati. Our pass rushers getting to Joe Burrow in that game. It was. Nope. Joe Burrow created magic. Like, that's the only thing that scares me, is Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. So we got to keep an eye on him this year, but their offensive line, our defense is going to eat this year. I can tell you that. We're going to, I think this year we will beat the Bengals. Their defense is going to be worse, and their offensive line is going to be worse. So,
yep.
And last but not least, yeah. And last but not least on this list, number 32, the Houston Texans. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't think they should have been this, low, Eddie, but I don't know. Like the last season, what's his name? Like he was getting killed, running for his life. Should they be exactly like so? And I don't think they gotten better. So I don't know, Eddie. It's sad, but hey, we play him like you said. We're going to eat. So
yeah, we're going to eat against the Texans too. This is one of the main reasons why. Like, if I look at a team and I know their offensive line's bad, even if they have a great quarterback like a Joe Burrow or CJ Stroud, and even if they've beaten us, like the last time we played the Texans 2 years ago in 2023, they beat us in Houston. The Bengals beat us last year in Cincinnati. Their offensive lines have gotten worse. Like, this defense has just gotten more deadly this offseason, and their offensive lines on those 2 teams have gotten worse. That's the reason why I got the Broncos beating these 2 teams this year. Like, we're going to freaking annihilate these quarterbacks. We're going to make them freaking, like, Joe Burrow does scare me a little bit more because he had a bad O-line for an entire season that made the Super Bowl. It was like 3 plays away from winning the damn thing. But even still, there's only, like, even as a quarterback like Joe Burrow, there's only so much you can do and only so many times you're going to take hits before you're like, you know what? Y'all need to do something with this crap. So, but couple more topics here. We're going to breeze through these real quick. We're going to fly through them and get out of here. We're already at an hour and 45 minutes. Woo.
That's a record.
Yeah, it is. First, I want to talk about, get your opinion on this, man. What was your take on Zach Allen being ranked 90th in the NFL's top 100?
I was pretty happy about it. I mean, well deserved. I mean, the guy was just crazy. It was a really crazy season for him. I mean, 61 tackles, 15 TFLs, 8.5 sacks, 40 quarterback hits, a safety. He was just all over the place. He was relentless. That he just kept coming, and he's about to get paid. Well deserved. I'm happy. I expect more Broncos players to make the list. PS2 better be on the top 10 or I'm going to get pissed off. I mean, no matter where they ranked him, I'm going to get pissed off. But I already know how they disrespect the Broncos. So you better not be out of the top 10. I tell you that.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for Zach Allen. Like, to me, like, whenever it comes to winning at the line of scrimmage, like, yes, pass rushers, outside backers, the guys that actually stand up and do the pass rushing are important. But if you have a guy on the D line, like a D end or a defensive tackle mostly, that can penetrate the offensive line and get back there and cause havoc, where he's taking up two teams, like an Aaron Donald or, I'm trying to think, like Villa for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A guy up there, like a nose tackle, D tackle, or a defensive end that's got their hands in the dirt on the defensive line, if they take up two tackles, there are two people to block them to, keep them from getting in the backfield where they're just game wreckers, kind of like Zach Allen. Zach Allen was that last year. He was the guy that was putting all that pressure on the offensive line to either double team him or they had to know where he was at. And guess what? The guys on the edges got to eat. They got to get in the backfield and sack the quarterback. Yeah. And I think Zach Allen himself, he got a few last year because there were sometimes he was able to get in the backfield. I think he had 8.5 sacks last year. Yep. So hopefully that continues this year. He's due a contract. I think the Broncos, there's been a lot of talk about the contracts, but I think the Broncos, they might wait until midway through the season, which might motivate Zach Allen and Nick Bonito to eat more this year, at least for the first half of the season. Dominate, go up there, freaking win your one-on-ones, get up there and get to the quarterback, dominate, be hungry, just go after it so they can earn those contracts. And that's going to be great for the Broncos because then we're going to be seeing a lot of sacks and a lot of tackles in the backfield. We're going to be seeing a lot of pressures. So let's get to it, guys. Hopefully that's what we see this year. But the last topic before we get off of here, because we're in almost an hour and 50 minutes. Oh my God. But the last topic we got to talk about is what needs to happen so the Broncos could make the Super Bowl this year. In your opinion, Mohamed, what has to happen for the Broncos to make the Super Bowl this year?
I'm really I've seen a lot of topics, a lot of talk from different podcasts about the Broncos making the playoffs. Making the Super Bowl. Excuse me. It's not crazy. It's not a wild thing. Why? Because of the things we were talking about today. Our O-line is ranked top two in the NFL. Our defense was top 5, top 6 last season. Even better this season. I think they might be top 1 or 2. That combination, if you have a good O-line, and I think we got the running game situation resolved. If we can run the ball, just a little bit of improvement, and you bring in, some players like a tight end to help Bo Nix. It's his second year with Sean Payton. Why not, Eddie? We're not really too far. I would say maybe year 3, year 4. Be more like it, but this season, if the defense is top, number 1 defense, and we can actually figure out this running game, I don't think it's a wild thing to say.
I have a few things to say on this. What needs to happen? A lot of the stuff that needs to happen for the Broncos has happened for them to make the Super Bowl. Now, there's still little bits of, snippets that, need to get better. For instance, we still owe Russell Wilson $35 million. That's $35 million we couldn't spend this year on talent. So next year it'll be better. But the division, the Raiders, okay, I'm not going to lie. In my opinion, based on all the moves happening this year, The Chargers and Chiefs are the two teams that got worse. Which one got worse? The Chiefs got the worst of the worst. That's what happens whenever you make the Super Bowl and you got to pay all your guys. You know, Andy Reid looks like he's getting ready to retire. Travis Kelce looks like he needs to retire. Their star superstars are getting older. They're losing key players also on this team because they can't afford them. And they didn't really add nothing of value to this team this year, other than maybe you say Josh Simmons in the draft, the tackle, but we don't even know what he's going to be yet in the NFL. He's still a rookie, hasn't played a down in the NFL yet. The Chargers have gotten a little bit worse. They lost their star pass rusher. Now, I understand he was hurt a lot, but Joey Bosa, they're getting older on defense. They added no wide receivers to this depth. They got Ladd McConkey and an aging, I think, what was it, Mike Williams or Keenan Allen they brought back? I can't remember. But he's like 33 or something. So, and then, yeah, they added to the run game. But, that's fine. But they've lost more than they've gained. The Raiders are the only other team I can honestly say added just like the Broncos and didn't really lose a whole lot, but they still don't have enough. There's still a lot of pieces on that team that need to be built, like the secondary, inside linebacker. They did lose Spillane, so they did kind of lose someone, an inside backer that was solid for them. No outside pass rushers. Their offensive line, at best. Like we saw, they were ranked 18th by PFF. So they added Ashton Genty. They added Geno Smith, which is great. And I guess you could say Pete Carroll. But they still ain't got enough on this roster to be competitive. Like, they're still going to be last in the division. The Broncos are the only ones that really added and didn't really lose nothing of significant value. Like, the biggest piece we lost on this team was Javonte, and we honestly improved in that position because you brought in Dobbins, who's better. You brought in Harvey, a rookie that has a lot of upside. And honestly, I was watching the Dallas thing. It seems like Javonte is going to be the second stringer behind who's the other guy they brought in down there? I forgot the other guy they brought in. But based on what I heard, Javonte is going to be the second string running back down there. So you didn't really lose anything, and you gained a lot. And as you said, Mohammed, this defense was top 5 last year. It's probably going to be top 3, 2, or even the best defense in the league. You added a tight end that you desperately needed, that Sean Payton wants, a joker. You added a run game with Dobbins and Harvey. You added more depth to the cornerback position, which makes this defense even more deadly.
Yep.
You added Greenlaw and Hufanga. Like, you added more than that's my thing. What have you gained versus what you lost? The Chiefs have lost more than what they've gained. The Chargers have lost more than what they've gained. The Raiders have gained more than what they've lost, but they still don't have enough. The Broncos are the only ones that have actually got more than they've lost. So that's the big portion. 2, you saw it yourself. PFF ranked the Broncos offensive line top 2 in the NFL. That's big. That's really big. Bo Nix, second year with Sean Payton in the same system. Continuity there, because this is the first time in years Bo Nix has had the same play calling, same playbook, back-to-back years. So, and honestly, the AFC as a whole, like, teams that were dominating like years ago in the AFC, like the Bengals, the Steelers, dare I say maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars to an extent. Like, these teams are not going to be that good this year. And that gives the Broncos more leeway, not just in their own division, but in the conference itself. Like, the only 2 teams in this conference that really honestly scare me this year, Mohammed, are the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. They're the only 2 teams. Everybody else, I'm fine with. Like, I know we have more than enough chances to beat the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Texans, the Titans, of course, like Jaguars. We have the Cincinnati Bengals. We can beat these guys. And, like, it's not like, oh, if you can beat them. I know we can beat them. The Ravens and Bills are the only 2 teams I'm like, well, maybe we do lose to them. Like, maybe we just don't have enough to compete with those top 2 teams yet. So all that, like, the Broncos have the ability. A lot of stuff that needed to happen for the Broncos to make the playoffs this year has happened. But there's also other things. Does Bo Nix take that next step in year 2? what was the other thing I was thinking of it, but I forgot about it. Oh, can the team stay healthy? That's the big key. If this team can stay healthy and Bo Nix takes that next leap, the sky is the limit for this team this year. And I don't know what more to say, man. Like, there's a reason why analysts around the national spot, and I usually don't like the national analysts because sometimes, they go way off on a tangent. It doesn't seem like they know what they're talking about, which some of these people are ex-football players, ex-coaches, GMs, people that actually worked in the NFL. So they do have some knowledge of the NFL. There's a reason why a lot of people are picking the Broncos to win this division. And if you win your division, the Super Bowl that's the goal. I mean, it is the goal for every team. But like, if you're like the Raiders or the Titans, when you're not, like, you might say on the outside, like, yeah, Super Bowl is what we're going for this year. But on the inside of the facility, you're like, yeah, we know we're still a couple years away from competing because we got to build this roster. The Broncos in that building, I guarantee you, they're like Super Bowl or bust because they know they have the talent, they have the ability, they have everything they need. Go do it. Injuries and Bo Nix taking that second leap. Bo Nix takes that second leap, and we stay healthy. The Super Bowl is the sky, or the Super Bowl is the ceiling for this team. And not just a Super Bowl appearance, a Super Bowl victory. That's how much faith I have in Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and the GM and this ownership. That's what needs to happen. Those are the only two things I could think of. Everything else has already happened for this team. But before we get out of here, Muhammad, we got a few more comments I want to get to before we get out of here. Big E Bronco, he posted this earlier, and that and the NFL helped the 8 and 9 getting into the Super. I'm sorry. What do you mean by that? Do you know what he means by that, Muhammad? I think maybe he's talking about the Browns because we were talking about Shador earlier. And the NFL helped the 8 and 9 get into the Super Bowl. You have to let me know, Big E. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Next up, I think we got your son here, Mohammed. He's like, what are your favorite memories of the Broncos Super Bowl? For me personally, it was Super Bowl 32 because that's whenever I fell in love with the Broncos and watching John Elway do the helicopter spin. What about you, Mohammed?
The Super Bowl 50. Von Miller stripping the ball. Ooh, man.
And Cam running like a little.
Exactly. Nobody hurt his feelings, Eddie. Nobody ever did that to him. So, he was never the same after that game.
Yeah, no, I agree. But no, mine was Super Bowl 32. That's whenever I fell in love with football, and that's whenever I fell in love with the Broncos. So that's my favorite memory in Broncos Super Bowl history. Next up, we got Michael Ronquillo. Stay healthy for the Broncos making. Yep, 100%. That's what I said. I said Bo Nix taking the next step and staying healthy. If they do those two things, this team can make the Super Bowl. I have no doubts in my mind. So, and then we got one more here from Michael. He said, awesome show today, Ed and Muhammad. Appreciate you, man. Really, it was a lot, dude. We're almost at 2 hours, dude. So we need to be getting off of here for the night. I got stuff to do with the kids. I promised them ice cream today. So I need to get off here and go deliver on that promise. So, but that's it for us this week, guys. We'll be back next week. Again, rookies report to minicamp on Wednesday, the 16th. The week after that, the vets report and training camp officially kicks off, I believe, on the 23rd or the 22nd. So less than 2 weeks, guys, and football is going to be back. So if you can, please leave a like, comment, subscribe on this video, and also hit that bell notification so you know when we go live. And we will talk to you guys next week. Mohammed, see you next week, brother.
All right, see you.
Peace, guys.